Good to hear you. How is the weather today?
It's nice today.
The
And how
sun,
about for you?
the sun is shining. The weather is beautiful, and people are happy. And
That's perfect. That's what you
there's
want.
yes, nice vibe from like peaceful and happiness. So yes. And how is it
Nice one.
Yes, how is it? How is it? How is the weather? How is the sense of the street or in nature when you walk?
It's nice today. Um, the clouds seem to have moved on a lot. Um, it's quite general at the moment. Um, everyone's kind of minding their own, um, carrying on their own way at the moment, I'd probably say.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this beautiful moment with us. Good afternoon, Victoria on YouTube. Good morning, Felipe. And good morning, Rodrigo. And good afternoon, Jeffrey. I hope you can hear us. Rodrigo, can you hear us?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, Yeti. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here to talk with all of you friends, and I'm very, very happy.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to greet good morning, Ruth from Canada. Good morning on YouTube, and congratulations to Brazil for the first stream yesterday. Thank you so much.
Eh,
How was it, Rodrigo Felipe, to stream in Portuguese or
Oh,
how?
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, we are. I was very nervous as now because it's a huge, huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we believe that we did um, something great because we could receive something from above. And so I believe that was a great time to all that could listen and participate of that life yesterday.
It was beautiful, and I would like to thank you for making this effort and initiate the stream in Portuguese. We heard you live yesterday. We were on the Carmel Mountain, and we heard you. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we heard you alive, Andre and I. We were amazed, and we would like to thank you for this. It is so beautiful, and it also came in a very special moment in a very special place. And I would like to congratulate you for the spirit child that was born yesterday. Good morning, Fernando. Thank you so much for, and Felipe, enabling the streaming.
Thank you, Eti. Shalom, my friends. I'm very happy to share with you this moment that for me and I guess for the guys was really important because to talk about these deep topics sometimes can be a little tricky and it's too abstract. But I feel, Eti, that now, past 2 years, we've been talking and studying and most talking and making those conversations that daily, almost daily conversations, and it was really it was easy to speak about it because we felt, I can say this, we felt protected, and we felt supported by all that we've been studying and talking about. So it was a really beautiful moment. I hope we can manage to to follow with these live sessions. I guess it is good from those who are listening. It gives a sense of reality of dealing with the moment, the present, and so I'm very happy about this, and would like to thank you especially, Eti, for supporting and incentive, making those such great you pull the best of us, I guess to this.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. You sound, and I noticed this 3 o'clock in the morning. You sound, the sound was so alive. People speaking, and we heard you. 3 o'clock in the morning, we heard you speaking just there on the Carmel Mountain. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. And I would like to greet you with infinite flow, that you will continue to stream the content, because it's infinite.
Nice work, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And good morning or good afternoon, Philip, here on YouTube. And I would like to ask you if you have questions that you would like to ask or impressions that you would like to share before.
I do.
Yes, Philip.
Have a question that I'd rather ask on here. First of all, I may have a break after this one. The question that I do have, mathematics, when you're performing an operation, there's usually a reason behind the operating that you're applying into the equation. Mm-hmm. So say if you're adding 3 apples into a group of 3 apples, then you're using addition. Same for subtraction. You'd be multiplying if you're getting 3 bags of oranges that have 10 oranges in each, etc., etc. Would there also be reasons behind the operations used with the words as well?
Mm-hmm. The reason is to bring them. I hope there would be. Yes, the reason is to bring them to a realm of completeness, or the realm of dreams, or the source of the origin, or to the absolute. Like to bring them to the center of the circle, if you want, and then to bring it back to the to the circumferences. This is how it works. I can draw it later. I can draw it later and explain it in Discord later. And thank you for your question, because there's a lot to say about it. Yes, but
that would be nice, definitely. Mm-hmm. More particularly as well in the choices of using which operations too, mm-hmm. If you could.
I'll try. The questions, they help me to explain even to myself what is happening while it's happening, because it just comes.
Understood.
And when you ask questions, it helps me. So continue to ask and I will explain this. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so much. And Rodrigo, are we ready to the whiteboard? You want to share with us special text today? What is the text and what would you like to start with? Because we have 2 paintings and 2 texts, and this is your choice. Yeah. You're leading at the moment.
Okay. First of all, Eti, I would like to thank you to open this space and to teach me and us a lot of secrets that I would never discover without your help. And I would like to thank all those that listen and participate, even in thoughts, in this little conversation. And of course, I want to thank the Most High that provide us all of things and allow us to approach these elevates themes. And I should say that I not intend to make a presentation, but I only prepare a few topics that could be a start pointing to our daily conversation. And I count with the support and collaboration of you, Etty, and all of our friends from Discord and YouTube to develop this conversation. Well, as you said, I brought three things that we could talk about today. First, the text, the Torah, Genesis 28, verse 10 to 22. One picture of two paintings of Louis Jamot, Le Poème de l'âme, and one poem by Mário Quintana that I translated from Portuguese to English with Google's help. Well, Etty, today I ask to you by where you want to start. What you pick, the text, the picture, or the poem? Please, today you choose.
Today we have two paintings, so maybe I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe people I would like to that people from
No,
YouTube.
please,
Yes.
listen your heart. Listen your heart and
My
pick
heart,
with your heart.
my heart.
Yes.
This Louise Jamot poem, a poem of the soul.
Okay, great choose. Well, I love this picture. I must say that I love this picture, and because when I look this, my soul flying also, because the name of this picture is the flight of the soul. And Louis Janot is French poet and painter that lived in 19th century. And this painting, these two paintings that is in the whiteboard, there is a work called The Poem of the Soul, composing by 18 paintings. And this is two of these pictures. I bring two, the number 16 and the number 12. And if you wish to look for in Google, there is a beautiful paintings in this collection. So my question is, what feelings this painting evokes? What we feel to see it? This is a question that you should answer if you want, because I could say something, what I feel in my heart when I see this painting. And if you want to share before me, or if you prefer, I could say my impressions by this painting and why I picked this to bring and to share with you.
Thank you, Rodrigo, for this permission. And I would like to turn to the participant on YouTube. What kind of feelings or senses or impressions do you have when you look at this painting from the 19th century, The Flight of the Soul? Ruth, Philip, Victoria, and others who participate, also friends here in class on Discord who participate in voice. Everybody is welcome to express a sense, a feeling, something that comes to him or to her while we are looking at this beautiful painting. Who would like to start? Ruth, maybe you'd like to write a few words. Victoria, maybe you're already writing. Fernando, yes, Ruth is writing. Ruth, it shows to me a feeling of compassion and great love by both participants. Did you hear, Rodrigo?
Yes, Ed, I can hear. Yes, yes.
And Philip from YouTube is writing, that's feeling of calm, peace, and freedom. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Ruth, so much. And maybe Victoria and others would like to participate in writing before we move to participants in voice. Felipe, Fernando, Philip, Jeffrey. Victoria is writing, I love that painting, it makes my heart leap. Victoria is saying. Yes. And maybe Rodrigo, would you like to share with us what you
Yes,
feel?
Ed.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to everybody to participate. Well, I should say that to me, this image represents the eternal dialogue that Mario Quintana mentioned in his poem. And this flying of the soul is the same ongoing conversation that we do in our classes. No image represents better the feeling that I feel while I've been here. And it's a flying, but could be a dance, it could be a walk or a talk. Means to me that we are not alone. Uh, we are not alone at all. And even in that hard moments which everyone experiences in life, there is an invisible friend waiting to escort us and wishing to be escorted by us in this indescribable flying. And I believe there is some kind of marriage here, some kind of dancing here between the soul and the body, or something like that. It's look like this to me, and I just propose an reflection. I don't know if it's right. There is no right or wrong. There is some point of views, but I believe that our deeds should invite the soul to act with us. Our words, our words should invite the soul to speak with us, and our senses should invite the soul to feel with us, and our thoughts should invite the soul to think with us. And altogether, thoughts, words, feelings, actions became just one, uniting our body, spirit, and soul in a unique, eternal, and infinite, beyond time and space, infinite dialogue, infinite marriage that Fernando talked on Tuesday, infinite flying that this painting showed to us. Um, so this is the ongoing dancing, ongoing marriage, ongoing conversation, ongoing flying, as the poem also described to us. I don't know what this is my impressions, and I picked this painting because it moved me a lot inside, because evokes to me all these feelings. I don't know if I could express myself well, but I I wish that a lot of you could feel these beautiful feelings.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for sharing this deepest uh, sense and emotions that you have. Victoria and Ruth are writing, and I would like to share what they write. Victoria is so beautiful, Rodrigo. I had a similar feeling about that picture, and Ruth is saying, I love that conception of a constant, eternal dialogue. It is beautiful, and few things are coming to me while you were speaking and writing is that there are, so to speak, two figures. One on the left has like a red or brown dressing, Maybe it's our earthly life on the left, has a short hair, and on the right the figure, maybe the color, I'm not sure about the color, it looks like light blue, and she has a veil that covers her shoulder and her hair, and this is the soul which embraces the four body that caught in time, like the figure on the left has short hair and short perspective and red or brown dress, and the figure on the right is hugging her, escorting her. They have a face-to-face relation. They're moving towards the source of light. There are two axes here, at least in the beginning of those two figures. There is an axis, so to speak, from the belly to the feet, which is horizontal, so to speak, the earthly life, and there's vertical from the waist, from the belly and up, the shoulders, the head. In a way, our life here are divided. We have an earthly part from the belly and down, up the chest and the head. We have like spiritual life, and it's a conflict. And in this hard conflict, and those hard moments, junctions in life, crises, there's always a divine soul, merciful, loving, which has a face-to-face relation with us. And as we see here, the soul is like a cover. Covered, she has a veil, and she has like maybe light blue, purple, it's not clear, like heavenly dimension, as with a lot of merciful infinite love. She's escorting the body which is caught in time, and they are flying together towards the source of light. Beautiful.
Very, very beautiful, Etty. And their feet are painting as a mirror, something, the same movement.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Their feet are in the same position.
It's like twins. Like you could say that they are like twins. The body is a twin of the soul is a twin of the body. The hovering, hugging helps, because you could say that they're like parallel feet, but it's like follow her. The soul never leaves the body. We are never alone, because you see the similar posture of the feet are parallel to each other. And the air is like water, and the water is like air. This is very, very infinite. It's a beautiful, beautiful painting.
And Etty, this sense of union, the sense of united, the conscious, the attention in the present moment, I believe that is an important part, because the body has conscious of this highest part of his soul,
Yes.
in looking to his soul, this face-to-face relation with the soul is something that we build here in our meetings, in our conversations, and it's so beautiful when we experience this relation with our own soul.
It's amazing. It's amazing because the left figures with the red, so the body experience or the earthly experience is like, in a way, it's a young face, like young perspective or short perspective, or it has like some kind of attention, and he or she, it's not clear, looking for the soul, for a resonance, or what is happening here, or guidance. And it is just beautiful. And with this, the painter, he could bring a lot of movement to this picture, the sense of flying. And you see the veil of the soul, also the veil of the soul, through the veil of the soul, which is white or transparent, the light which is coming from the source of origin, is penetrating and escorting them together.
Yes,
It's
beautiful. Great. Etty, we should pass we could pass to the poem if you
yes, of course.
if you allow.
Yes, we shall move left 1 second to the poem. Yes, there's in
Yes,
Portuguese
if you I don't know if someone could share something about this picture, but if not, we could move.
Okay. Excuse me. Would you like to share more of your thoughts, feelings, impressions from the painting before we move to the poem in Portuguese and English? Would you like to add something to share, Ruth, Philip, Victoria, people who participate in YouTube? You can write your impressions and we can return to the painting whenever you wish.
Just to say that it touched me very much, this beautiful painting, and I was following everything that was said, and it was really, really touching and really beautiful. So just to give this feedback, it's amazing, this picture.
Thank you so much, Felipe. And Victoria is saying that she is ready to follow, so thank you, Victoria, for the input, and thank you, Felipe. And we shall move slowly to the poem, which is in Portuguese and in English. Yes, please, Rodrigo.
Yes. Well, Mário Quintana, who wrote this poem, was a poet that born in south of Brazil and lived his entire life at Porto Alegre city, where I'm Fernando and Felipe living. And he lived in the 20th century, and he's the most famous and important poet of our state. And there is a cultural center in our town that called with his name, Casa de Cultura Mário Quintana. And I don't know if everybody could read the poem, but if you could see, I would like to ask what this poem means. What is the main idea or the major ideas around here? I don't know if somebody feel called to speak. Please, if you read the poem, could be, I don't know if we could read the poem to
I would like
our friends.
Yes, if possible,
Yeah?
to
Yes.
read it in Portuguese and in English. How would you like to divide? Who would like to take what share? Who would like to read what?
I could read in Portuguese. I feel better read in Portuguese, and if someone, Philip or other, could read in English, okay?
Yes, please. Yes.
Ok, I will start in Portuguese. Mário Quintana, pequeno poema didático. O tempo é indivisível. Dize, qual o sentido do calendário? Tombam as folhas e fica a árvore. Contra o vento, incerto e vário. A vida é indivisível. Mesmo a que se julga mais dispersa, pertence a um eterno diálogo, a mais inconsequente conversa. Todos os poemas são o mesmo poema. Todos os porres são o mesmo porre. Não é de uma vez que se morre. Todas as horas são horas extremas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, who would like to read this in English? We're looking for volunteer. Those who participate in voice at the moment. Who would like to read it in English? Felipe, Fernando, Philip, Geoffrey. Who would like?
I can
Anyone.
try.
Yes. Yes, please.
Philip, if you want to read, it would be
No, I
an
feel
unique experience because
always.
it's an all new translation, and in your in your accent it would be great to hear if you may, but if you don't want, I can read it.
Go for it. Feel free. I don't mind. If you'd like to step up, go for it.
Okay. Mário Quintana, Little Didactic Poem. Time is indivisible. Say, what is the meaning of the calendar? The leaves fall and the tree remains against uncertain and various wind. Life is undivisible, same, the one that is true to be more dispersed and belongs to an eternal dialogue, the most inconsequential conversation. All poems are the same poem. All the drunkenness are the same drunkenness. You don't die all at once. All the hours are extreme hours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, Rodrigo?
Well, Eti, I picked this poem because I believe there is a lot of relations that we could be. For example, in the verse 3, when the poet says, "The leaves fall and the tree remains," the idea of some things are ephemeral and others are eternal. Okay, I know that a tree is not eternal, but in this poem, the meaning, I believe, is something like this. And my point of view, this experience in the material world will pass to all of us, but the soul's life, our essence, our true will remains, and this is something that moved me a lot also. And then the poem continues: life is indivisible, same the one that thought to be more dispersed. um, the idea of the unity that we talk about in every meeting. Each life is the same life. We are just one. All we live in the Hashem, and all we are a thought thinked by the Eternal. We came from the same source. When the poet says life is indivisible, it means to me that we came from the same source and we remains linked to this source forever. And there is no other. The other is me. And he carried the same seeds inside of him. And I believe this is a message that is linked with our daily conversations here. Um, the idea of this indivisible life. And the more impressive part to me is the verse 7 and 8, and belongs to an eternal dialogue, the most inconsequential conversation. The eternal dialogue. Reading this verse, Eti, I thought it seems that Mario Quintana listened you at participate our classes, because you every time talk to us about this ongoing conversation, the siach,
Yes.
and to me is the same that is eternal dialogue that the poet refer. And please notice, my dear friends on Discord and YouTube, there is no inconsequential conversations. because all of our words belongs to an eternal dialogue. The importance of our words, each one of them, because they create worlds and they are attached to this eternal dialogue. These are my impressions, Ed, and if you could share yours, and if our friends could share with us their thoughts about this poem, I I would be grateful.
Thank you so much for sharing this poem, dear Rodrigo. And I would like to turn to you, people who participate on YouTube and here in Discord with voice. I would like to ask, what is your impression from the poem, in writing and in voice? Who would like to?
Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom.
shalom,
Hello.
shalom,
Can you hear
shalom.
me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I could get one microphone now, and I thank you, Shalom, friends, and and congratulations, Rodrigo. Very moving and beautiful poem, and also the picture. I was listening to you, friends, and if I could only add one idea that came to me while I was listening to the poem is that I was reading a little bit yesterday about uh, Lag BaOmer and about Simeon Bar Yochai,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a quote, a little quote that is uh, that they say that is related with him, that he had spoken, that is that the Rasha, the evil man, only uh, has a very straight uh, point of view or a vision. He could only see very little in front of him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the tzaddik has a very wide point of view, like he could see the eternity. And in this poem, we can see that uh, it's a way to see more close to the eternity, you know. Life is indivisible. Because in the hour of our death, uh, is said that we forget the things that we know, and we remember the things that we forgot in our life, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a change of perspective, and in fact it is all the same, you know. We we only do not see exactly what we are doing when we are unconscious, but we are not so, how can I say this, we are walking in unity, although we think that we have free will and we are very special and unique, but in fact we are all parts of the same uh, being, that is the humanity. Just this idea to add.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Philippe, would you like to share something? Victoria, Ruth.
Just to add that it's a nice blend of infinity.
Thank you, Philip. This is an open question for everyone. I did not think that it would come, but since the poem and Fernando's comment and the painting, this is an open question. You don't have to answer it. We can even leave it open in the air. But is there 2 years of Corona, because different states, though there are different states and different continents, they had measures like lockdown and all kinds of limitations, and people had to change their lifestyle for a while, or for a short while, for a long while. Did this term of time change your perspective somehow about life, about eternity, about friendship, about nature, about music, about art? If you can, maybe we cannot answer, this is an open question, we don't have to answer it at all, and not even now, but if we can conclude in our mind the last 26 months, let's say, do we perceive a change? Outside the world has changed, inside also. Can anybody summarize or bring like force pop out of impressions that he had during the last 2 years or so?
It is a difficult question, and especially for me, and I can say for the friends, because many things changed around here and inside, within, especially within. So we live in different times.
Thank you, Fernando. Felipe?
Well, I guess it is amazing because we are talking about the Bible and Hebrew, and we bring verses and so, and then we turn ourselves to a poem by a poet who, I guess, doesn't have this approach doesn't have this approach in his life, and we have the same belongings. We belong all to this eternal dialogue, and it's for me it confirms something that I feel every day. I feel it in a much strength way, in a much strong way, because it seems to me that we could not make systematic studies. I mean, we can do this, but for me, in my experience, I don't see the point anymore, because I see that everything is like taking a sip in a river, taking a cup of water in the river of life and drinking of that moment,
Mm-hmm.
because this is an ongoing, eternal conversation, and it's and one another idea it came to me is that in the last part of the poem, when the poet says, "All poems are the same poem, all the drunkenness are the same drunkenness." For me, I thought about that when you are in the path of the virtues and the tzedakah,
Mm-hmm.
every act, feeling, or thought that you have, it's for one direction. And when you are backwards, when you are in like in a, let's say, in a looking back, when you are in a back-to-back relations, all that you do, it will reflect on this kind of result. You'll be drunk, you will be unconscious. So it's like a eternal choose that you have. It's to choose the right path in every moment, in every dialogue, in every word, because it doesn't matter if it was yesterday, 15 years ago, or it will be something you planned for the future. It's just it doesn't matter what you will happen to you, and because we do not control nothing at all, so we have to just dive into what it matters and what it's the good deeds.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, Felipe. Like the deer, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just going
And not,
forward.
yes. Just something it came to me, Etienne, if you could write the words, because it's something that often takes my attention. When we read the Zohar, I won't know the words. Fernando, maybe you can help me. It's it's like some stories, and very often we read something like this quote: "It's been said," and so the story begins. It's been said, but as we learn also with Daniel Matt, many times of this quotation, "It's been said," they are talking about things that had never been said in the literature, and so, and in those core texts, they quote this. It's been said, like it's since the beginning. These conversations, in a moment, it's this truth that we're gonna say right now. It's already been said. So I was curious about this. What are those words? I don't know if you understood what I was trying to say, but
Thank you, Felipe.
for me,
Yes.
it's a signal. It's a symbol of this ongoing conversation, like the light that was already there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just a question.
Fernando, do you remember the words? Or
And I remember, I know what he's talking, but I cannot remember in Hebrew. I will try to find it, or in Aramaic. But
yes.
it's interesting because it is like when the sages the Havrayas are talking,
Yes.
so they speak about like Shekhinah,
Yes.
and they sentence like how have been said, like if this was like a tradition, but it's brand new tradition, because before the book of Zohar, that that sentence was never been said at all, So I know what Felipe is talking about, but I'm not sure what expression is it in Aramaic. But if you give me a moment, I will try to find it.
Yes, thank you so much. There is something that comes to me now, Felipe. There is an expression in the Babylonian Talmud that they were saying shaninu. Shaninu meaning we have already learned, or we have already read, or spoke those words. So I'm not sure this is what the Zohar uses later in time, but in the Babylonian Talmud it says Shaninu, meaning we have learned, we have repeated, we have recited. But they're saying Shaninu, we have learned, we have recited, we have spoken, but they're saying it fresh on the moment. So this kind of expression comes to me now from the Babylonian Talmud, and it seems that if we shall wait here, or maybe later on Discord, Fernando will find the words in Aramaic, in Hebrew, or even in English, just a text that we could dive into it and see. Whenever they say Shaninu, we have learned, we have recited, we have read, they bring a truth which is being presented at the moment like if it was already there. This is what you mean, Felipe?
This is precisely what I was talking at. Yes, Shaninu.
Shaninu. So in Aramaic, let me sing Taninan. Taninan. Because Shaninu, it's in Hebrew, and Shin, SH, in Aramaic moves into Tav, and Taninan, meaning we have already learned, read, recited, and I hope that Fernando will find it now or later. It is beautiful. It is beautiful because it is kind of it's an attitude. It's an attitude because when things are happening or being understood in the moment when people are speaking or having a conversation, it is us. There is no me and you. There is us, Shaninu. Taninan, meaning we have already discussed this before we were separated bodies. One spirit. This is very, very interesting. And I thank you for bringing this, Felipe.
E.T.,
yes.
May I ask you a very odd question?
Why not?
Because I listened once that before Jacob, people was like people die at once. It was like when Abraham took Isaac to the sacrifice. They look like the same person because even they were very different in different ages. People do not get old at that time. After Jacob, people start to get old and to get sick. But before Jacob, people only die once. Did you ever heard something like this?
Yes.
Could you clarify this?
Yes.
Because
yes, I will.
Symbolic,
I will.
Of course.
It is symbolic, and maybe you can share because I would like to take the whiteboard and to draw the tree of life. Can you just make exposition and introduce this idea to the listeners, and I will draw it while you speak, and I will explain. Okay, so you have the exposition now. And you
only
can...
only listening, you said the tree of life already make all the sense, but okay.
Yes.
You already put the seed of the answer. Is that it has a lore that speaks that before Jacob, people used to die at once. It was like people never get old. Everybody, although they have aged, the body stayed the same. So when Abraham took Isaac for the sacrifice, like I said before, if somebody from now would see them walking, we could think that they had at that time the same age, but we know that Abraham was very old and Isaac was young. So the Lord says that Jacob, when Jacob came, then we started to get sick because it was a work of Jacob, and to get old and to get sick is a blessing. Uh, It seems that it's a blessing because we can prepare better to this moment of this incarnation. So this is the Lord, and I'm expecting to listen from it.
It is a beautiful lore, and I've read it for several years ago, and I heard even something more interesting that Jacob was the first one to ask God to give him a sign when he's gonna live the life that he could prepare. So in a way, this is what I read, that Jacob was the first one to ask a sign from God, and he became sick, and he knew through his sickness that he is going to live life, and he could prepare. Does it resonate in the same stream of
Exactly.
ideas? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And the question is, what is hiding behind this lore? Why before Jacob people could live and suddenly they transfer into another way of being without any notification? And why exactly the lore focus on Jacob? What is so different in Jacob that causes a transformation? Of course, as Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar, there is a beautiful, beautiful quote from him that says that everybody who thinks that the Torah or the laws are just invention, he'd rather not live. So it is very strong saying, because every law has a mathematical root or avenue. Now, you can see already in the sketch of the tree of life that Abraham is located in wisdom, Chokhmah. Once Rodrigo showed us that Abraham, in his name, hide behind his name Abraham, we have 9 times tetragrammaton. Abraham is in wisdom. He was a learner, as Philon describes him. Constant learner. Isaac, it depends of how we look at it, in a way, through Philon's eyes, or through the Zohar eyes, or through Weinreb, but it's the same, because Abraham as divine wisdom, as represents the divine wisdom, he lives beyond time. Wisdom is beyond time. Isaac also lived in a way beyond time. He was binded, but also his name is 8 times. Isaac is 208. The value of Yitzchak in Hebrew is 208. 8 times the tetragrammaton. And he lives also in a way in understanding beyond time and space. He was binded. If we look at Isaac as living in the 8th sphere, if we count from the bottom, Binah, understanding, is the 8th sphere. It's like the 8th day. He was the first circumcised in the 8th day. Abraham was circumcised, his father, when he was 99 years old. Isaac, he was the first human to circumcise in the 8th day. He's the manifestation of the 8th. His name, meaning Yitzchak in Hebrew, 208. This is 8 times tetragrammaton, 8 times being beyond time and space. So we can understand why Abraham and Isaac in a way never got old, so to speak, physically, or aged, as the Lord say, because their qualities, their names as qualities in Hebrew, are beyond time and space. 9 and 10, 9 and 10, 9 and 10, excuse me, 9 and 8 are beyond the 7th day, beyond time and space. So they were never age, like this is what the laws mean, or grow older physically. But Jacob is 7 times, or Jacob lives in time. He lives in time. So living in time, it is, this is what the laws mean, to get age and to get sick. I even was listening to another lore about Jacob, that before Jacob time, people just used to pass to another existence without any notification or a sign. But Jacob asked for a sign, and in the lore that I was reading, people sneezed and moved to another dimension. This is why whenever somebody sneezes next to us, we say what? In Hebrew we say labriut, or for life, or bless you, in order that the soul will return, not to leave. Do you understand all of those laws together?
Beautiful, it yes.
Amazing, Ati. Thank you to share.
And
Yes, Fernando, yes.
And it came just another idea that I don't know where I read. I think was from Nachman, from Breslau, that he speaks that before time and space, that we could relate it here with this idea of Jacob, of being sick and dying, and step by step, let's say. The action and the consequence was immediate. So if we thought about something bad, that thing just happened. Or if we was made something bad, also the consequence was immediate. So we didn't have that time the opportunity of the teshuvah. And from the grace, now, even if we make something not so good, as I can think that I can do almost every day, not eating healthy food, let's say, or something like this, we have time to correct this aspect now in time and space, because the consequence is hidden from our eyes, you know. Because if it was in our front of our eyes, we won't make anything, and we won't have the possibility of rectification as well. So it is grace that maybe Jacob was the one who bring it to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You remind me of Philon, because Philon was looking at the patriarch Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as a qualities inside of us. Abraham is the one who learns all the time and always walks forward to the unknown. Isaac in us is the natural talent, and Jacob is the one who practice. So as long as we are in time, we can practice, make it better. So all of those thoughts or examples or sayings that are coming together, it is so beautiful. In a way, our since we live in time, in a way we have to choose, because the source of things is hidden from us. We don't know in a way what happens. So it gives us, also Jill was reading from Binary Book, it gives us in a way an opportunity to do things gratuitously without any reward. And this is in a way the path of the soul, to do things gratuitously. Thank you. Thank you for your question, Fernando. Rodrigo, Felipe.
One
Yes?
more question, if I
Yes.
may.
Yes, sure.
could we say that when we are so taking this attitude, we are hosting these guests, Abraham, Isaac, and you, like when we are trying to learn everything, or when we are acting. We have a friend here, a good friend that is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I don't know if you think like this from this perspective of from Philo.
Mm-hmm. Again, what is if we inside of us when we are learning?
Yes.
Yes.
We are hosting, like
yes.
We are hosting some this quality.
Mm-hmm. When we are constant.
Spark of Jacob.
Yes, when we are learning, constant learning or daily learning, there's like manifestation of Abraham in us. Abraham Havram, he likes the higher. So he goes always for the unknown. This is Abraham in us. Isaac in us is the natural talent. Each and every one of us has a natural talent for something. So this is an interesting combination if we combine constant learning and talent. This is according to Philon, yes? And then we have the one who practice when we go like to produce a podcast. So in a podcast or in a stream that we do on YouTube, we bring forth the quality of learning in us, Abraham. We bring the natural talent, Isaac, in us. And the Jacob in us who's practicing, because every day or every podcast we have to practice our skills. Because in a way the wisdom or the mochin, the mind, is beyond time and space, Abraham. And natural talent like Isaac is also had been given to us. And what is in our hand, in our choice, is the practice in time. This is the Jacob aspect in us. To pull things together, to pull the sheep, he is a shepherd. To pull our skills together, to produce something, to paint, to write a letter, and so. Does it make any sense?
Yes, it is amazing and increase our sense of beauty, you know. It is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. You reminded me something, just a last sentence, because I don't want to take your time. Today came to me before class, the Bible says that only when Joseph was born, Jacob could leave his father's-in-law's house. Only when Joseph was born. And the value of Jacob is 7 times 26. And Joseph is 6 times, maybe I've said it before, I'm not sure. Joseph is 6 times 26. And what does it mean? Only when Joseph was born, suddenly Jacob can come and do this act to return home. And we have here a combination together. Because Jacob is 7 times 26 and Joseph is 6 times 26. And here we have 13 times 26. Love of being. And then he can leave his father-in-law and go home. Return home. Because you mentioned the beauty, Fernando, your word about the beauty reminded me of this.
Beautiful. Beautiful, really beautiful.
It is also when this is not just historical story. It is when, like you say, that person Jacob, the one who practice, finds the spirit, and then we can experience love as unity, and we can go forward. We can leave behind all kinds of habits the habits of our ancestors. Philon speaks about this too, to be able to question, because most of people do not question. People are being born somewhere, they are being grown up by certain people or by certain communities. They never question anything, their mind is somewhere else. But when those two qualities are coming together in us, the Jacob, the one who practiced in time, and Joseph, the spirit, they come together, we sense unification. And then we can leave behind all kinds of traditions, things that we never questioned before, and we can go forward to the promised land in us.
And if I may,
Yes.
just think that when we overcome Jacob, when Jacob overcome himself, he becomes Israel,
Yes.
which is the tree of life, the entire tree of life, right?
Yes. Yes. And this is what Philon says, that this is life which is worth living, to live with a straight mind, yashar, straight and honest. This is otherwise there is no use to live. If a person does not live in straight and unity with the spirit, there is no use to live, even, he says. Only as a person who he is in a constant dialogue, conversation with God, going forward with him. Like you say, we don't know what's going to happen, so it's beautiful.
I can as
It's
well.
amazing.
Yes.
Just to finish on an image, to some degree, all of us have been blocked from our past memories, and as a whole, as we're progressing, each one of us are playing our path. And for some people, it might feel like it gets a bit stagnant sometimes, or like things just aren't progressing. But in order to move forward as a whole, everyone has to play their part and be up to scratch in their level. So there is no moving forward for those that are in one place, if it means that some are going to get left behind. So therefore, people in particular places will have to hold their energy until the other parts of the world even end up keeping up, or other people, if I could rephrase that, so that the main mission, the idea behind all of it, is for everyone to progress as a human species. So once people have moved up and we're all at a good place, only then will more get revealed to us in order to move forward.
Yes. Yes.
With everyone playing their part,
Yes.
we move as a species.
His
So
spirit.
thanks for that.
Yes. You're most welcome.
I I think that Ashlag has a book about this, exactly what Philip is talking about. That is Matan Torah,
Mm-hmm. True.
gift of the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
where he speaks about the importance of everybody play its role, you know,
Yes.
right?
Yes. 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 And then we can move forward. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank you so much.
for initiating
Eti,
those.
may I just
Yes.
put
Yes. Yeah.
may
Sure.
I put one question for the future? For the
Yes.
future, it is not needed to be answered now.
Mm.
But while I was listening to you about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, I was thinking about the Merkavah,
Mm-hmm.
Masé Merkavah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, because the book of Zohar, when it speaks about the Merkavah, he relates with these uh, patriarchs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think while I was listening to you, it sounds to me that you put it in a very simple and objective way without magical elements, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What is the work of Merkava, maybe? But I'm not sure if I am right, if I understood it right. But if you could clarify it, uh, anytime, it
Yes,
doesn't need
of
to be.
course, we shall speak about it. Yes, Merkava is a chariot. It means whenever they say that the patriarchs, that the fathers were Merkava, a chariot to the Shekhinah, to the Holy Spirit, it means that they were a clear vehicle. Merkava is a chariot or a vehicle like a beautiful nest or chariot that the spirit could have have a live. I mean, there is a reunion. They were clear vessels. So they say many times in the Zohar that Ha'avot HaKadoshim, the holy patriarchs or the fathers, were Merkava. They were great hosters for the Holy Spirit. To be a host, to have space, pure space, that the Holy of Holy could dwell inside. To be a pure space, this is what it means, Merkava. But of course, we
Thank
can
you.
go to this deeper. Yes.
Yes, it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for presenting us this beautiful poem and the painting, and Fernando,
Thank you, Rodrigo.
Fernando,
Thank
the
you.
session on Tuesday, thank you, and Felipe on Monday. Thank you so much for presenting those ideas and impressions that you have with us. I would like to wish all of us Shabbat Shalom, and we could meet here on Monday. And until then, if you have questions, write them on Discord.
Thank you so much, Eti. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and see you on Monday. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Shabbat
so
Shalom.
much. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much.